The following is an excerpt from Think on These Things, page 126, a book written by Krishnamurti, which I highly recommend. Before we start, let me read from Jiddu Krishnamurti's Wikipedia. Krishnamurti, born the 12th of May, 1895, died the 17th of February, 1986, was an Indian philosopher, speaker, and writer. In his early life, he was groomed to be the new world teacher, but later rejected his mantle and withdrew from the theosophy organization behind it. His interests included psychological revolution, the nature of mind, meditation, inquiry, human relationships, and bringing about radical change in society. He stressed the need for a revolution in the psyche of every human being, and emphasized that such revolution cannot be brought about by any external entity, be it religious, political, or social. All right, now that you've got a better idea about Krishnamurti, let's get on with today's excerpt. Quote, "However much I may want to be an engineer, if my father is against it and won't help me, how can I study engineering?" Unquote. A question asked by an attendee, to which Krishnamurti answers, "If you persist in wanting to be an engineer, even though your father turns you out of the house, do you mean to say that you won't find ways and means to study engineering? You will beg, go to friends. Sir, life is very strange. The moment you are very clear about what you want to do, things happen. Life comes to your aid. A friend, a relation, a teacher, a grandmother, somebody helps you. But if you are afraid to try because your father may turn you out, then you are lost. Life never comes to the aid of those who merely yield to some demand out of fear. But if you say, quote, 'This is really what I want to do, and I'm going to pursue it,' unquote, then you will find that something miraculous takes place. You may have to go hungry, struggle to get through, but you will be a worthwhile human being, not a mere copy, and that is the miracle of it. You see, most of us are frightened to stand alone, and I know this is especially difficult for you who are young, because there is no economic freedom in this country, India, as there is in America or Europe. Here, the country is overpopulated, so everybody gives in. You say, quote, 'What will happen to me?' Unquote. But if you hold on, you will find that something or somebody helps you. When you really stand against the popular demand, then you are an individual, and life comes to your aid. You know, in biology, there is a phenomenon called sport, which is a sudden and spontaneous deviation from the type. If you have a garden and have cultivated a particular species of flower, one morning you may find that something totally new has come out of that species. That new thing is called the sport. Being new, it stands out, and the gardener takes a special interest in it. And life is like that. The moment you venture out, something takes place in you and about you. Life comes to your aid in various ways. You may not like the form in which it comes to you. It may be misery, struggle, starvation. But when you invite life, things begin to happen. But you see, we don't want to invite life. We want to play a safe game. And those who play a safe game die very safely. Is that not so? The end. Truth be told, I could keep on reading excerpts or parts from Krishnamurti's books, but I will stop here. I highly recommend you pick up a copy of Think on These Things at your local bookstore or Amazon or wherever you get your books or your Kindle, even though it might need or require a few rereads. It's one of those books that I will definitely come back to over the course of my life. One of those books that I just reread and reread, and one of those books that show themselves in different ways as you or I as a person grow in different ways. I think that in the last 3 years, or for the last 3 years, I've reread Anti-Fragile 3 times, and I must say it's a book that always gives me a little bit more or a different insight into what I'm thinking, and that's quite amazing. Krishnamurti has a wide-ranging oeuvre of work, which I recommend you check out. If you like this episode, give a review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast. As always, I will link to all the necessary stuff, the books, Krishnamurti, more information on him, in the show notes. You can find them on archive.belgianboy.com. And that's it for today. Thank you very much for listening, and see you soon.